Oh, here we go. Hello and welcome to the KD Ratio podcast.
All right.
Your place for all things nerd. My name's Dylan. I'm joined by
Kyle.
and I am sitting in the wrong spot. I will move here shortly because Billy is currently doing something and he will be here very, very shortly. So one moment.
Yeah, he said, start without me. I need to finish my alone time. And we were like, what does that mean? It was weird.
It was very weird, if you know. It's usual for him though,
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
He just had, normally it's 6:30 is when he does it. But
We're running a little bit behind, so he has to do it right now.
what are we even talking about right now?
We were just killing time, Kyle.
Dylan?
Yes. How was your week, Kyle? First, I'll start there.
It was good. It was a nice long weekend. I was off yesterday, so.
Nice, and I hear you've been playing the heck out of Baldurs.
I sure
Gate.
have. When we get
Loving
to
it.
that portion, I have a lot to talk about.
I can't wait
I
to
hate
hear
it.
You hate it.
That's the worst game
All
ever.
right, spoiler alert. This is going to be
Totally.
a whole podcast of us dissing Baldur's Gate.
Yep. That'll get us viewers, right?
Definitely. No, we're gonna have a review on that. But first, since I'm the only one who's played this game, I figured I would go over quickly Armored Core 6 and just kind of my little review. I've made it to chapter 3, and
How many chapters are there?
I don't know.
Wow, you're a terrible reviewer.
I haven't beat it yet. But I would say it's pretty good. It is exactly what I expected. If you go back and you listen to our old podcasts about like our thoughts on what Armored Core would be, I pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's mission based. It's like you go to a mission screen. After the mission, you were paid for the job, your score basically, and then you go into the hangar. You can change your robot, and then you go on the next mission. So
I mean, it's not just mech Elden Ring.
it's not, sadly. Damn. That's what I was hoping for, but no. But it is still fun. I do feel like this type of game is still outdated. Maybe not outdated, but it's a product of the time that I think it needs to be updated a little bit more. It looks beautiful. It plays really nice. And it is so cool to have a giant robot that shoots guns.
Do you think, with From Software's success
Uh-huh.
with Elden Ring, do you think they're just kind of like, fuck it, we can make whatever we want right now?
Well, yes.
Because it's such a departure.
And I know it's one of their. It's like a
It was the
passion
staple.
project for them. Yeah.
Before Souls, that's what they were known for, really.
Yeah. So I think it's a personal game for them because it's something they've always been doing. And I do have to say, like, the story so far, very interesting, very cool. It's not necessarily even the combat or anything. It's just the mission structure is what I feel is a little outdated. But the rest of the game, it fits in with like Elden Ring, like as far as story, like just to give you guys a little hint. So you start off and you're an augmented human. You're basically a human in like a trash bag. And it's weird. And so you're in the robot and like you're controlling the robot and that's all you do. Like that's your life. And
Sounds terrible.
so depressing, right? But you have a chance to buy your freedom by working as a mercenary. It just ends up that you're like this fucking, the badass mercenary. As in all games, you're like the
hero.
one.
Yeah. The main character.
Yeah. But so like you have this handler guy and he's, it's like, what's going on here? Am I his slave? What's going on? And then as you keep going, you're caught in like the equivalent of a nuclear blast with this stuff called coral. And then all of a sudden this other voice is in your head and it's like a sentient plant is talking to you. The equivalent. Coral is alive and it's used as a fuel source. But so now that's in your head and it's talking to you and it's like, it's wild. It's like, yeah, that sounds like From Software.
That's very typical From Software. It's like Elden Ring in the sense that you have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Your guy's just along for the ride. He's like, all right, I'll kill stuff.
Sounds good.
But I think the combat is a lot of fun. I think the mech customization is amazing. I've seen on the subreddit some really good looking, robots that people have built and just the paint jobs you can do. It's everything I would wish for in a mech game is on that end. It's just I feel like you need. I don't know. I feel like there needs to be more innovation in the mission structure, but even then, it's good enough. Like I'm happy with it as a mech game, but I think there needs to be some type of evolution to push it to the next level. For the reason like you guys didn't buy it, I think there needs to be something that would get you guys interested in it versus where it's at now, which is basically ace combat with robots instead of jets. Like that is it. So overall, I'd say good game. If you are interested in mechs at all, get it. Or if you played any of the previous, um, you would want to get it as well, just because it's more of the same but better. But yeah, I think they need to innovate. But overall, good game. Would recommend if you're a fan.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
I thought the way he did that was like, sounds terrible. Like,
horrible.
Now I was giving my thoughts to Dylan right before this, and I think bottom. First off, hello everyone.
yeah, did you finish your alone time?
I did. Yeah, got it.
Good.
I got pushed over the edge. You know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I know exactly
You
what
know
you
exactly what I mean. Yeah, that lid on that Tupperware is sealed tight, baby. I was putting dinner away. Okay, all right.
That's his
be-
alone time.
Let's be clear. All right.
Um,
No funny businesses going on. Although you have a blanket, and I
always have a
can't
blanket.
confirm that you
Nor
got
deny.
pants on under that.
I can
saying.
confirm that I don't know.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
He says, "Yeah."
Oh my
God!
He has pants on.
It's all bush. No, I'm just kidding.
The only place he's got hair.
It's the only place I got hair, guys.
Anyways.
Anyway, that was wild.
Let's move on. That's
Yeah.
Hello.
Whoa.
The okay, so the my opinion on everything is it looks kind of like there's a defined gameplay loop, and once you're able to like kind of diagnose that and figure that out, the game sort of progresses pretty linearly from there. And from a lot of the streams that I was watching, it didn't really pull me in to the point that I was like, wow, I really want to play with this. But the PvP side of things did intrigue me because that actually looked like a really engaging and a lot of fun.
yeah.
And you know what I would say is like I've been trying to think of a game that maybe Armored Core could take some components from to like evolve. And honestly, I feel like if they did if they took some components from like Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, where it's like kind of this open world and then like that way you could order in new parts and they'd come down and you could attach them right there
Yeah.
and you could approach each mission however. I think that is what almost you would have to do. Because you still need the component of like, you know, changing your mech. Like that's a big part is make
Right.
you look how you look. And in an open world game, that's kind of hard to do. I mean, not really. You'd have a home base you could go to, but
I think there's always something when you're not playing as like a person
yeah.
that is always lost. Like, okay, you're just this mech warrior that.
But
could
you
just,
are a person in the mech.
Oh yeah.
In your human's
But-
trash bag.
In a trash bag.
Yeah.
It doesn't really play out like that though, you know.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Is
don't
there
know.
a romance arc?
There will, according to the subreddit, yes.
What?
The voice in your head, people are simping over her.
oh god.
Really?
Yeah, her name's Air.
It
You,
doesn't-
you never even see any
doesn't
physical
take-
humans, but her voice.
It doesn't take much for people to simp on the internet, though.
There's already like
They just-
fan art.
They just need
course.
somebody to like, you know, acknowledge them as in any kind of way whatsoever, and they fall in love. Like it's sad, actually.
Welcome, warrior. Oh,
my
my god, I love you.
But yeah,
everything.
there's like fan art, and now there's no actual depiction of any like physical human in the Armored Core game, but people made fan art of like what they think they look like.
Dude.
And now it's like already regularly accepted what this character looks like. It's like, what the fuck?
What?
Who voted?
That was like all
internet.
the fan art of Tally before Mass Effect 3 came out.
All of her
There's
face.
so much.
No.
Not that I knew anything about that
Hmm.
that section of the internet.
No, of
Sounds
course
like
not.
you
Of
were
course not.
deep in looking.
Yep. I was deep in looking at Tally.
Looking at that face.
Looking at that face. That's because that's the first thing I notice in a character is their face. Anyways.
Yeah. They are our best girl, right?
Go
No.
fuck yourself.
What?
What?
I do say
I declare.
It's not Liara, best girl.
it is.
Tally's 100% the best girl.
No.
Yeah.
For you guys, maybe. It's opinion
I
based.
guess that's the beauty of Mass Effect.
And because they have short lives, you can always get a new one. So
You-
you go back
you
to
tell
Liara.
me-
You can actually have both the best of both.
I don't like the idea that as soon as you die, Liara can have like literally 15 lifelong relationships with other male or human characters, rather. How close is your connection to her, really?
I mean, obviously, by the new trailer, she's still looking for you, so.
Nah, she's
Come
just
on.
nostalgic. It's like, you might feel nostalgic about some girl you had a crush on in middle school, but you're not actually like looking to date them.
And how do we know that she's looking for you?
She pulls up at N7.
I think
Yeah, but does that mean that she's looking for Commander Shepard?
coincidence. She
No.
was like, "Wow, what are the odds of finding this here?"
No.
Anyways,
Yeah,
It's-
it's people reading into
No.
a 4-second trailer
There's-
way too hard.
There is evidence because.
Oh God, because there's one pixel.
No.
There's
no.
a star that didn't exist.
Because it's a previous act she's done. She's the reason your body is delivered to the Cerberus.
Yeah.
So she's tried to find you dead before.
So she's just gonna recreate you at that stage with your.
That's how
knowledge.
impactful you are to her life.
How
and she
much
just wants to
later
keep bringing
is
you back?
like there is no Cerberus anymore? So why is she looking for your body?
Because Shepard's still. Well, we'll have to wait for the new game to find out.
Because she's great friends.
Great Shepard.
That whole thing is actually
Yes.
the weakest part about Mass Effect for me, and
What?
I don't want to make this a fucking Mass Effect episode.
Yeah, well-
so let's end it here.
Well, I
But
want to
that
hear your
whole,
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go, cracking knuckles. Let's break it in.
What's your weakest part, huh? Of our favorite game?
The fact that you just get resurrected and like get a body built back together, like that to me is like, I don't
And
know.
they chose to do that too. It wasn't like they had to write themselves out of a corner in Mass Effect
They
1.
kill
'cause
you in the
you're
beginning.
alive in Mass Effect 1 at the end of it.
That's
so
what I don't understand.
There was really, I think they were just trying to showcase that Cerberus has unlimited resources,
Well,
and
I
they're
think
very.
that's a really bad way of doing it.
And
Because
they-
it kind of it. I don't know. There's something disingenuous about the whole thing, but
I think they were mainly trying to just figure out a way to make it so that your companions were gone.
So you can have new companions, and
Yeah.
it actually made sense story wise.
Like, how can we make it so Shepard was gone for years and he doesn't know what happened?
I disagree with you, Billy, but I also respect that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight. I can see.
Especially,
your point,
I
so I'm
feel
not
like
gonna fight
if
it.
they do it again in Mass Effect 4, it's gonna be like,
I don't want it to be Shepard Mass Effect 4, but okay, we'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Don't need to talk about Mass Effect. So Armored Core, as of right now, work in progress. Is it worth buying?
I would say worth buying. I would say though, there's a couple caveats. You need to know what you're getting into. You do some research, watch it. So you want
Caveat. Such a fancy way to say that.
caveat, but do some research, see what you're getting into. And as long as your expectation is set at that and not at Elden Ring, I think you'll be fine and you'll have fun.
but it's from software. It should be like Elden Ring.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what you need to tell yourself. No, it's not.
It's not that.
It's Ace Combat. It's
We said that
Yeah.
like months ago when it first got announced. We were kind of warning people.
saying, hey, it's not. It's not going to be Elden
And,
Ring.
yeah, people listened. You heard
I
it here
think that's
first.
I think we're the go-to source.
We have
Yeah.
a very strong impact with our viewers, and
I think the game has been well received.
It
like,
has.
People are like, "Oh, this is great. It's
Yeah.
not Elden Ring, but this is fun."
definitely, yeah.
You know? And I
There's-
think there's a place for that genre.
How's the difficulty curve?
So they're just like every From Software game. There's a filter. There's the boss. You've seen him in the trailer. He's the guy that has he's like in a floating kind of circle, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden these go, tuk, 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 and then he shoots missiles. He is really hard, and that's the one that makes you like figure out how you gonna synergize your mech.
Gotcha.
So the difficulty is pretty hard, especially those bosses.
No.
Him, I've only fought. I fought him, and then I fought the. Did you guys ever see the cleaner one where he has they look like car grinders on his hands? He shoots fire out of his head.
Oh yeah.
he's tough too because he's like anything that isn't a mech is hard. Once you fight a mech though, it's fun, but those are a lot easier than things like that where it's like it's a lot more causing you to think on how you're gonna navigate it.
Nice.
But yeah, so I would say difficulty's pretty hard. There is a filter that needs you to get good.
I'll probably wait for it to go on sale or something, but I'll be checking it out.
I'd say definitely because it's like I said, the story. I was surprised on how it's picking up and how interested I'm getting. There's a lot of mystery, and of course, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, you haven't finished it.
No, I haven't finished it yet. But there's 3 new game pluses. I mean, I'm sure you can do more, but each new game plus like gives you a different ending you can unlock. So you have to play to at least New Game Plus 3 to get all the endings.
So there's some replay value.
Yeah, and there's multiple, like, I just reached for the first time and reached a mission that says choice. And it's like I have a choice between one mission or the other on what I'm going to do.
Choice.
Yeah.
Choice.
Rubicon.
Fires of Rubicon.
Yeah. So
Title card.
I'd recommend it.
Cool.
Now we are moving on to the meat and potatoes of this episode today, which is
Potatoes.
Potatoes. It's gonna be
Lord
Barbie.
of the Rings, Rings of Power, Season 2.
Go
Oh,
for
no.
it.
Barbie.
Yeah, we're
Was
only
Season
4
2?
months late.
Like, are you joking or is that actually announced?
No, it's confirmed, but
I mean, I thought more
I
information
think
came out.
2047 is when we'll see it.
Nice. Learning from James Cameron.
No, people are anticipating a late 2024, but I don't even want to think about it right now.
What if James Cameron
more than a
made
year away,
Lord
at
of the
least.
Rings?
What's that?
What if James Cameron made Lord of the Rings?
Don't
He's a sci-fi guy.
no,
James Cameron wouldn't do Lord of the
don't
Rings.
even no. Please no.
Is he not a sci-fi guy? The way you looked at
I
me
know,
like,
he's like,
No,
no.
but what I'm saying is I don't want him coming anywhere near. Because it would take
so only Peter
would-
Jackson.
You
it
mean
would
the
look
core
great.
Lord of the Rings?
Well, I don't know, like, because
Or
aren't they
like
planning on
this.
rebooting it or something? There's like
Th-
rumors.
Every 4 years there's a new rumor. It's just like Bloodborne. It's coming out. They're doing it too. And it's like, no, they're not.
no, they'll do Elden Ring 2 before they do anything else. Because of how successful that franchise.
If we ever get the DLC.
That's it too. That was announced 6 months ago, and no information. All they
Was
got is
it-
a picture.
Yeah, they sent the picture. Well, you heard about the award show, like, thanks for liking my game. We think about DLC. Thank you, Bill Clinton.
Just drift
But that
off.
was it. That's all we got. They're like, we'll think about it. We heard your feedback. We'll get to it.
I mean, it's announced. It's just not worth getting hyped over something that's gonna take
Yeah.
forever to come out.
But anyways, moving us back. Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate,
What did you
two-
call me?
I called you bald.
Gate.
Sorry, the joke it was right there. I had to do it.
It wasn't a good joke.
Well, I mean, it's self-deprecating, so those should always be.
sat on
They
that.
always should be appreciated
No,
because I'm putting myself
you
down.
should have sat on that joke.
But it's my humility.
I'm such a piece of shit.
But
Now that was
exactly.
that was
See?
a good joke.
And you're right because
Yours wasn't.
Oh, but I'm not bald.
You are bald.
There's got to be truth in it. And
No,
no?
but
Does
the
there?
joke was bad.
The joke. It wasn't funny, asshole.
I'm getting called out right now.
I hate you
My
so
fucking
much.
feelings.
No, okay.
My feelings are on edge.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
We're late to the party, but I didn't pick it up on PC. You can make fun of me all you want because all the Baldur's Gates fans are like mad if you play it on console. I don't know why, but they just are.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really that hyped on it either until it came out on console, and I was like, "Well, all right, I'll get it." And oh my god, I'm having the time of my life. This is one of the most fun games I've played in a while. I just finished Act 1, so I still got quite a ways to go. But the freedom and approach to the story, like the gameplay, it's like unparalleled. In that, like, if you think of a way to do something where you're like, let me just see what happens if I try and do this instead, it usually lets you do it. It's wild. Like, to give you an example, there's this whole thing where I was like trying to get into this past this gate. And I was like, I need to get this key. And then it ended up being this whole like quest to try and find this key. And then I found there was this like elevated like scaffolding almost to the side of it. So I climbed to the top and I'm like, what if I could just jump over the gate? And I jumped. I took some fall damage, but I actually just jumped over the gate and then continued on my merry way. And it's just stuff like that. Like no other game, like if a game had a locked key where there's a whole quest line tied to it, would not let you just
Skip
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, like they really took the essence of D&D as much as you can in a game. They really took it and like translated that into gaming very well.
Well, and I saw on I was watching a video on TikTok and it showed that freedom too. It's like there was a chasm and it was too long to jump, so they threw one of the characters and it worked.
Yeah.
So Kyle told me about that, and I specifically spec'd into a spell that allows me to jump 3 times as far. So now I can like leap, bounds with my.
You'll be amazed how much that helps you
breaks.
with stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, there's a few platforms that I'm like, oh, if I was in a combat, and I'm like, if I could just get up there, I would be so much better off in this fight. So do you gain action points as you level up? Like, what do you have right now? Like,
I'm only level 4 or 5.
oh, really? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
already 3, so I'm like right there, I guess.
I think I've been very passive in my playthrough. So I haven't been doing a lot of things that have really been leveling me up. I only fight when I feel like I absolutely have to. I always try and figure out other ways to do things.
Well, like, how do you just flee a lot of combat then?
I just avoid combat entirely. My intimidation is really high, so I can scare people out of fighting me a lot.
There you go.
And then also, I've been figuring out ways. Like, there's this one boss fight where, like they were kicking my ass, and I finally figured out a way to like lure them in front of this pit, and then I just pushed them into it, and it ended the fight. And I was like, hell yeah! But like because I do stuff like that, like I
Yeah.
don't get as much XP out of it as I probably could if I were to just go guns a-blazing every fight.
There's this one fight that I'm stuck on right now, and unfortunately, the rest of my squad is dead. And I
You
don't
let them die.
I don't have a save for like the previous hour. It didn't auto save before the
Oh,
fight,
shit.
so I was like, I'm refusing to go back.
Yeah.
But I'm out of like resurrect scrolls. Like, can I
You
go
can-
to camp
You
and
can
res
buy
people?
those. I don't know if you can go to camp because I haven't been in that situation yet. But
Because I long rested and then they didn't come back.
I'm
They're
pretty
still
sure-
dead in the field,
I'm
and I'm
pretty
like,
sure that it has
Fuck.
permadeath. So you should be careful about.
leaving them dead for too long.
Yeah, I can't confirm that. But one of the funniest things, another example of like they really just consider everything. Spoiler alert. I don't know if it's a spoiler because he literally says it in his like intro talking about himself. But one of the characters is a vampire. And when he reveals it, he's like, I need blood. If I don't get it, I'm gonna go crazy or whatever. And I was like, all right, well, you could suck on me a little bit. And he did. And then it's like the narrator's talking. He's like, you could see him getting, and then you have all these options like push him off, get him off. And then there's one that's just like, that said give in. And I was like, I'm just see what happens. I said give in.
Kills you.
And then he starts getting all crazy and he keeps going. And then you still have another option where they're like, push him off, snap out of it. And then it was just like, let him take you or something like that. And I was like, what would happen if I did this? I hit let him take you. He fucking killed me. My character died. And I had to use one of my other characters to use a scroll of Revivify
Yeah.
or whatever on
Revivify.
something like that. It's something kind of silly.
Yeah.
I had to use one of those scrolls on my main character to get them alive. And then I went over to him, was like, you fucking killed me. And the guy was like, oh, don't be dramatic. You seem fine now. Like it was this whole thing. And you could just kick him out of like
Your crew.
Your crew. You could fight him or you could just be like, all right, I understand. You could stay, which I did because I was like, well, I'm the one that kind of asked for that.
Yeah. So-
But that's the kind of thing where I'm just like, I'm just going to see what happens. And I do it and it works. It's crazy.
Before we get too far, I did want to ask, what are your characters?
I went with a high elf wizard.
Of course, wizard. Yes, I knew that.
I'm not having that much fun, to be honest, playing.
No?
the combat is. So that's why I asked if he has like more action points, because this is my interpretation. So Divinity Original Sin, you had like action points or like initiative or something. I don't know what it was called, but you had like action points. You had a number of them, and every time it was your turn, I think you got refreshed with 4. So you could do like 4 basic attacks. You could like move a little bit, and like that, depending on how much you moved, it would take 1 action or something like that.
Uh huh.
And then some spells or whatever took up 2 to 4 or 6, depending on what kind of spell it was. But I played Glass Cannon, and I would always start with like 8 or something. So I had a lot of moves that I can make every single time it was my turn. But in this game, you get 1 action and then 1 bonus action, and the bonus action is like a shove or a, like movement stuff basically. And I'm kind of like bummed out by because I really just use like 1 spell. And I find that a lot of my spells, I don't know about you, Kyle, I guess you don't have been in too much combat, but
I'm starting
mine
to
are missing.
actually.
Mine keep missing a lot. And so like it'll be my turn. I'm finally on my main character, which this game doesn't really want you to have a main character. Like it's all about your squad. Because you play everybody as equal essentially. And I find that like I'm going in and I'll shoot an arrow or like shoot a spell, and it'll like miss, and I'm like, okay, I gotta wait like another 2 minutes to get back to my wizard that I created, and then I'll use it again, and I'll get like 4 damage, and you're just like, well, that kind of sucks. Like I don't like only being limited to just 1 spell.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe I might be playing the class wrong. I might be missing something, but
I think it's
the combat
something
has
in the
it
way that
really-
you respect. Like, so you don't really get more action points ever. It's just that your effectiveness with those action points gets greater as you level up. But
'Cause, like, when I go to attack-
I can't speak to like as a wizard, but like I'm sure that it's comparable. Like I'm a fighter, and so like I have certain like skills. Like I spec into like proficiency with like great weapons, and I have one that if I kill somebody with an attack, I immediately get to do another attack.
that's
And
nice.
then I also have a skill where I can like overcharge, and so I can, if I play my cards right, I can do 3 attacks in 1 round with a character. And so I'm sure there's something comparable to stuff like that.
I'm definitely sure. Maybe I'm at the chapel before I found the town. And so like I
don't know what chapel you're even talking about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I feel like I haven't found the town yet, which is problematic because I don't have like any spells. I don't have anything. I don't even have any gear yet.
Okay,
I'm
so
still
like
using
I
the
think
starter
you're
weapon.
just
But like everybody's dead.
I,
What the hell?
I think you got yourself into a situation
definitely did.
that
I gotta go.
they
and
shouldn't
find
have
town.
been in. But
I gotta find town. I gotta buy resurrection scrolls, and then I have to kill some people.
yeah.
But it's so I feel because in Divinity Original Sin, like I could combo together a bunch of spells, and I felt like when it was my turn, I could really break down. And right now, it's like, oh, it's my turn. I use my attack spell, and then I move on. I know it's gonna open up to more, but as of right now, it's not pulling me in right away as Divinity Original Sin did.
Yeah.
But I'm still actually really.
I think it's
enjoying
all
it.
about the crew too, and especially in the early, you can have up to 4 people or 3
I think I have
people.
4 people now. Yeah.
And I found like the group of people that synergize well with me. Like I have a healer and then like 3 fighters. I don't have any bullshit wizards on my. No, I'm just kidding.
Punch.
I have a wizard, I have a rogue, and I have a. There's 4 of us. I have a wizard, a rogue, and a cleric.
I'm a half elf fighter.
Half elf. Okay.
Yeah, and I did that for lore reasons.
Did you use the base character, like the generic one?
I used the custom character. I didn't use the
Oh,
origin
custom.
characters.
So what do you? It fully downloaded today. I went into character customization, made my character. I didn't start it yet, but what do you guys think?
You're some
chose.
kind of ranger or something.
That was almost.
Almost.
No, I don't think he went rogue.
Knight, warrior, fighter.
Hold on. Let me think.
You were close. One of them isn't the correct name.
Barbarian.
Oh, bard. No, druid.
No.
What did you play?
There's so many classes. I'm
I know,
trying to
but-
remember which ones are what.
Warlock or
There was so you said knight, but knight's not the
Paladin.
Yeah.
Paladin.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, I should have known.
Makes
That.
sense.
I even
for
saw
sure.
that on the list, and I'm like, Dylan's probably gonna play that.
I'm looking forward to that one. It's
I
like
ran
a healing
into
class.
this town where there's like all these paladins got fucked up by the what are they? Githyanki.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
The Gith.
It's a
The
race,
Geth?
The Gith.
basically.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Shooting them.
Dude.
That's what what's her name is. She's in your squad, but like she's fucking she just got out of the academy or something, and she's just like the biggest bitch. Like she's so mean to you.
Is that the orc?
They're not orcs, but
Basically.
there are orcs in the game though.
Yeah.
So you should clarify the difference between.
Wait, they
them.
aren't an orc. She's the green one, right? With the nose that's like this.
That's not an orc. That's a Githyanki.
What? I thought that was an orc.
No, they're not as they're
not born from the shadow.
they're like noble though, you know, but they
Huh.
think they're better than everybody, and they talk about like how like if you like romance her character, like her whole big romance arc thing is like she gets in a fight with you and you got to like beat her in a fight, and then like she's like the source of my bruises, my lover. Like that's just the kind of people they are.
So like a Krogan.
It's hard to explain. You just got it's not like a Krogan either, because they're not like big and brawny. They're just like intense and mean. And you gotta like play it to really see what I'm talking about. But I woke up one morning in the camp, and her and Shadowheart were like having beef, and Shadowheart like had a knife to her throat and was like gonna kill her, and I had to,
They hate each other.
and I had to like roll to talk her out of it. And like if I
haven't
failed
found
to
her
check,
yet. I haven't found her yet. I gotta find
who
her.
Shadowheart,
No, the other one, the Geth. The Gith.
the Githyanki, she's in a cage,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
gotta like go.
I've moved away from the water because I found a thing of water, and it was like, water. Town's nearby, and I'm like, well, I don't want to get to the town yet. I want to keep exploring, and that was where I made my mistake.
And that's where you went to level 50 area. And
the guys I'm fighting are supposedly level 2, but they fucking have like over 20 health, and literally my wizard, he was like, all right, I'm ready, and this guy walked up to me, one shot, dude. I was dead. I'm like, the fuck? And then I used a res scroll.
Yeah.
I stood up. Before it was even my turn, I was down again. I'm like, okay, what the fuck, dude? So
It's all about the approach and figuring out things like.
I walked up on these guys that were standing talking, and then it was like, hey, this is our ship. And then I gave the nice response. I'm like, hey, we mean you no harm. And they were like, no, you don't. Right of war. And I'm like, I don't want to fight you guys. Like, what?
I talked my way out of a fight with like 3 different goblin camps. Like, so in the early story, you have to like go into this like goblin like castle basically, and you have to rescue this druid. And I talked my way out of like 3 different big ass battles because I just intimidated the fuck out of the leader. And I'm like, if you fight me, it'll be your last, whatever. And then
You kept rolling?
And I kept rolling. And I successfully rolled like 3 times in a row. So I basically just walked past everybody. I was like, don't even try me, bitch. And they kept walking.
like, yes.
So like, oh God.
That's crazy, man.
So like there's whole fights that I've just been like missing because of that. But
But on the starter ship, where the mind
the
flayer
mind flayers
was fighting the captain dude.
Mhm.
I wiped on him because I tried to kill him. I knew you were supposed to get to the teleporter, but I was like, I think I could beat him.
Oh, yeah.
I got him to like 15 health, and I'm like, I think I got him. But then he summons help,
Yeah.
and they literally they're all level 8s, and they just went like, achoo. Come on.
8 is max level in D&D, so I don't know how it is in Baldur's Gate, but
I think it's higher for at least the players because I heard that like if you finish Act 1, you should be level 10. That's what I saw.
wow, I'm not even close to that.
Yeah,
don't
maybe
know
I'm
what I did.
totally wrong on that. I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
I don't know what the max level is, but I saw something around 10.
Interesting.
I know I at least saw a video, I think, of a guy level 10, so I know it at least goes to that.
So it says it's 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if the game Act 1 is not that long. If 12 is max level, I really don't think. I think I would say like
That's
4
crazy.
or 5.
12 is the max level?
There's like different power levels once you hit 12. It's like D&D where like you can hit max level
It's
and you can still get way more powerful
Yeah.
the more you play.
Huh.
There's also like max stats. So like, I think you only have 20 in any like intelligence. Like I think you only have 20. So and I my level 1 character had 17. So you already start with basically all your power. It's like the spells and then the knowledge that you gain and stuff of how to play certain situations. And then also you gain like from level 1 to 2, my health went from 8 to 14. So it's
Oh, okay.
like that scales.
And
big
then you
time.
like your loot probably as well gives you special.
Yeah, I'm sure like you find better loot at higher levels and
I misspoke. Max level in D&D is 20, but then like depending on what version you're playing, it just keeps going and there's not really a cap. I don't know where I got 8 from. It's been a while, but I got 8 from somewhere. I can't I
maybe it's
can't
for
remember though.
Descent.
Yeah, it could have been.
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. But either way, I feel like I was doing okay for being only level 4 at the end of Act 1. Like I was still doing okay in the fights. Like, but I did have to get really crafty in some of them. Like there were some fights where I was like, this just never ending hordes because like the goblins would run over and start banging those drums. They would bang these like drums to alert more enemies. And then I realized, I was like, dude, I could just shoot those. And so as soon as I got engaged in a fight, first thing I did is look for drums, and I would just, my ranged characters would take those out. And then I just have to deal with the people there.
Do you have like a setting on that like auto saves before every fight?
Well, I have autosave on.
Yeah.
And it saves like every like 10 minutes. But I also save a lot. Like every time I do
You
anything
see
or approach a
something
new
coming up.
area, I just save.
So
I need to get into that habit because
Yeah.
I could have gone back. It probably would save me time at this point, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to loot all those items. I don't want to have to go and like I just don't want to do that again at all. Although I think, if you go back, do you keep all the items? No, probably not.
No, I don't think so.
that'd be pretty game breaking.
I have.
Well, I wiped and I restored from a setting, but then all the stuff that I looted I couldn't pick up again. It was already in my inventory. So like I don't know if you go back to a save and like not from a dead state, does that hurt you? I don't know.
Sometimes I will save before I know it's gonna be like a talking to some character.
Do you save scum?
And sometimes I do because I'm like, maybe I'll just see if I could pass this check. It's like a I need a 15. It's like a hard one. And I definitely did that once where I just kept reloading until I got the roll. And I was like, perfect. And I avoided a whole fight because
You can
of that.
save like mid conversation.
No, what I mean like is so there's this one character. She was leader of she's like a member of the worshippers of the absolute or whatever. And I needed to go talk to her to figure out what was going on, but she's kind of evil. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to need a speech check on this for something. So I just saved before it.
Smart.
And then when I talked to her, I messed up the check and I instantly get in a fight. And I was like, well, let me reload. And I reloaded like 4 times until I finally got the check. And then she was just like, you're not worth my time. He's over there. Like, I was like, all right, cool. And so I avoided the fight altogether.
Damn, this guy's doing a passive playthrough.
I'm working on it. I told you there's this one area that was like, it's going to be near impossible for you to get through. It was full of like undead and stuff. And I sent my crew away, popped an invisibility potion, and I ran through it. And I just skipped the whole thing because they were like guarding this area. And I was like, I wonder if I could just run past them. And you can. And that's what I'm really loving about this game.
That's wild. Just like how much freedom there is.
It's crazy. Like people play Divinity, Original Sin, like for hundreds of hours, like in Act 1, because of all the millions of different ways that you could put together a playthrough.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate 3 is sort of flowing this like similarly. It's so good. I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I hope the combat picks up because if I'm just limited to like one spell every time it's my turn, I don't know. I'm going to be kind of bummed about that, but we'll see. We'll see. I got to watch a guide because honestly, it's a little overwhelming right now. Like there's so many. Like on mouse and keyboard, it's not. I don't know. It's a little. There's like the thing like spacebar ends your turn, and I've hit that way too many times on accident.
Same thing on console. So like triangle ends your turn.
Oh fuck,
And
dude.
so like sometimes I don't know why, but my instinct is to hit triangle for
like to
like,
go back, you know.
to swap.
Yeah.
Or so I'll hit triangle and I'm like, ah, fuck, and I didn't do anything that turn because
Yeah,
I
like,
actually
I don't
skipped
wanna-
it.
Yeah. So it's just like little things like that that I want to, because this is not a game that I really play at all. So I think I just need to watch like a 15-minute breakdown of like how combat works to refresh, get my mind on the in the right place, and then be like, oh, okay, I should save before every fight. Duh.
I'm finding that like kind of being varied a little bit is helping me too, because like I can shoot like magic missiles with my character and then like still have like an attack action. And like when you level up other characters like Karlak, when she uses her like I like leveled up this thing called like Eagle Rage or whatever, and it makes it so she can dash and it doesn't count towards an action, so you can move hella far and still
Yeah.
attack. So just stuff like that. So I think it's really just kind of figuring out how best to utilize a
Okay,
character.
I think I have. Someone has magic missile, so and that doesn't take an action point, maybe.
Maybe
So
I don't know
maybe
if,
I
if you're
need
like a
to-
wizard,
Yeah.
if that like you can only do so many spells, but like I was like I'm starting to, because like it just kind of happened that way. I'm starting to be able to do magic and melee just because like I don't know, I'm just
So
like clicking
blended.
things, I'm just blending. So
Well,
yeah,
I have a whole. There's like as a wizard, you have all these like cantrips, and I thought initially it was like sort of like your quick select, quick and dirty ones that you could use like every time it was your turn.
yeah.
But they're always grayed out for me, so maybe there's something I'm not doing. Maybe I don't know. I gotta
Yeah.
figure it out.
If they're grayed out,
They're
there's
always-
probably something.
They're always grayed out, and it's like you recharge this once every short rest or something like that. But then I don't know. I don't know. I only have like 3 hours into it, and it hasn't been that much combat.
No.
But I need.
I went
need to
back
figure it out.
once already, like an hour, because there's this whole thing where you're rescuing this druid, and you finally get to him, and I had him help me beat. You have to beat like these 3 bosses in this goblin area, and then he takes you back to your camp or whatever. I got like I was doing that, and it was a son of a bitch, but I finally got everything done. And then all of a sudden I got this like thing, this like quest prompt that was just like, you need to carry on Halson's legacy and let them know that you killed all of the bosses, but he didn't make it. I was like, wait, what? He didn't make it? And I go over there and he's fucking dead, just like laying on the ground, and he's surrounded by like 10 dudes. And it's because after the one fight, he went off by himself and just got into he got overwhelmed and got into a fight. And I didn't realize he got into a fight, and I left like the area, and then it was just like he's died. I was like, what do you mean he's died? So I had to go back and I redid that whole thing, and then I saved him. And Halson is like one of the main characters. He's the bear guy that you can have sex with from that trailer.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
That's the guy that died in my playthrough, and I was like, I will never see that cutscene. If I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what you did it for. Nice.
But there's no characters that are safe. Like if characters die, they just kind of die, which is, I think, pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
But,
How many acts are there in this game? 3?
I don't know. Usually it's like 3, but maybe more, because I don't know if I just like rushed it, but I beat Act 1 in about 10 hours. How many acts in Baldur's Gate 3? There's 3. The rest of the acts, Acts 2 and 3, are much longer. So Act 1 is sort of like an introduction.
I guess the main story only takes about 50 hours or so.
Yeah,
If
main
you
plus
wanted
sides.
to just play the main story. That's crazy.
Completionist is 130 though.
Even just main plus extras, 92.
Completionist.
All styles average 92.
So, 92 hours. That's a lot of bang for your buck.
No.
Oh, this is great. There's no battle pass. I bought
yet.
the DLC. I mean the deluxe version.
I was like, there's DLC already?
No. I bought the deluxe version.
I guess I did too.
I don't know what
I
that
didn't
is.
realize I did, but
It's
that's the only way I was
digital
able to
deluxe.
play it.
You
So.
get like more face options. I don't know.
I know that they have some Easter eggs to Divinity with it because like I got like this gear pack where it's like a gear of like I forget what it was, but it was like, these are folklore heroes or whatever. And so you have like the Red Prince cape and like so you have like gear from like characters from that game.
Oh, that's cool.
Like it's not like anything like special,
I
but
saw
like
that. Did you see the mask that
Yeah.
you could like change your appearance on?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get that like early
So
on.
like my character has the Red Prince from Divinity has their cape. So I just walk around with that cape on.
You're a warrior with magic missiles.
I'm gonna find a gold exploit where I can like grow mushrooms on the beach again, so that I can just buy all the spells.
For hours.
Dude, I set us up, man. I set us up.
You know what I want to play as? I already want to play as as a character is the Dark Urge.
I don't.
Dark
Is that a
Urge.
standard character?
It's an origin character, but it's the only customizable origin character. The Dark Urge is
Is he a lizard looking one?
a Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Oh,
It can be, but you can make him look however you want.
Oh.
That's just the default. But the Dark Urge is like I don't know all the lore behind it, but like you're constantly some greater forces trying to force you to do evil decisions
Oh, wow.
all the time. And I feel like it would be cool to play that character and like either give into it and play a full evil playthrough, or like play like the struggling hero that constantly is trying not to kill his companions and stuff. Because there's some kind of evil deity that's like controlling
Cursing you? Wow.
Yeah. So that would
Yeah.
be, I think, honestly, I would probably re-roll as that character. I thought about doing that already and just starting over.
See, so that's one of the things I'm struggling with is as a wizard, I do some things that are AOE damage.
Mm-hmm.
You hurt your allies,
Yeah, you too.
and so it's like, I don't know. I feel kind of cut at the balls there a little bit. So I'm like, damn it, I want to blow shit up, but I got this dumbass standing in the way.
That's why you got to do it before they're standing there and then send them in after.
I get that there's strategy involved. Yes, I know there's a way out.
There is
It's
strategy.
not like I'm helpless in this.
So there's 3 modes. There's there's
Adventure.
adventure, balanced, and like hardcore. You might want to look into adventure mode.
I am. No, just kidding. I'm doing tactician.
The hardest.
No, I'm
I
kidding.
was like,
dude,
dude, no wonder.
I'm doing a balance. I'm doing a balance.
I'm playing balanced and I'm getting my ass kicked.
Dude, it's fucking hard.
I don't
man.
have a lot of experience with this type of game, so maybe that's it. But like, it's tough.
I'm blaming it for sure on that because this game's all about positioning and it's all about like crowd controlling. But I can't really make sense like the charm in this game does not actually charm it for your team. It charms it for that player.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 melees, then he'll just attack the other one. So it's like it's good but not great. And then sleep. Have you used sleep yet?
I haven't
anybody?
used sleep yet, no.
So I made this boss sleep, and then one of his fucking own allies to wake him up walked over to him and shoved him, and he flew back like 5 feet, and it woke him up, and then he was able to attack.
That's funny.
I was like, oh well, that sucks.
You
So,
can
yeah.
you can literally like, there's like skills that you could use as like a melee character, which is just like improvised weapon. It's like you could be in a fight and just like pick up a chair and just hit somebody over the head with it and shit. It's so funny.
Have you dipped your like sword in like?
Yeah, dude. There was
yeah.
this like lava pot, and I was like, I'm gonna try this dip, and I was like, and it became like a lava
Yep.
sword. and
You
I
get
was
an
like,
extra die of roll to like your attack bar.
I was like,
Wow.
oh shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
There was one character that I was having a hard time fighting, and there was like this like lava pot hanging over them, and I shot it, and it fell on them and killed them. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like,
So
Are you gonna get into it? You think? I know it's super not your style.
I'm gonna try my hardest. It's the same thing as Divinity, where it's the combat. I don't know why it doesn't. It's hard for me to click into it.
No.
I might even just have to do adventure mode. Just
I would because the balance is pretty unbalanced right
But it's
now.
like then I'm not getting the challenge. The challenge is fun, but maybe I think I'll start with the balanced.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking about moving to the easy mode
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm really just kind of playing for
the narrative.
The story,
the
yeah.
narrative and the
that's,
story.
That's what I would play it for. So like,
But that's
Just
also it
kidding.
too. There's that part of me that's like, no
Yeah.
bitch.
yeah,
Mama
exactly.
ain't raised no bitch.
It's like, damn, I don't want to take the easy route, but it's also like I know the combat
Dude,
was
it's no joke.
my
dude.
least favorite part of Divinity. So
I think that's why I'm doing everything in my power to be so passive.
you don't
Like,
have to fight.
Stay in the fun
trying
stuff.
to figure out how to do things.
I do miss some of the mods that I had for Divinity. I had this free camera on Divinity where I could go way further zoomed out,
Yeah.
and I just enjoyed that because I feel the camera's kind of like its own boss in and of itself. You're kind of fighting it. You're like, fuck. And
That's
you
how
can't. You're limited to the angle at which you look, which really fucking bothers me too.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I don't know, and you can only.
I
zoom
pull
out
it in
so
nice
far.
and close. The only time I zoom in or zoom out is if I like trying to get it like there's this gate or something, and I'm like, well, let me just peek and see what's on
See
the
if
other
I
side
can,
of that, yeah. And usually you can. You can just move your camera over and get an idea of what's going on. But
Yeah, like I said, I walked into two gentlemen that were having a beautiful conversation, and somehow I was given one response, and I gave the "We mean no harm. We're just here to talk," and I got fucked on.
sure you are.
And this guy, if he says level 2, I disagree. His stats say level 20.
Apparently, you can romance a
One
mind
shot me.
flayer.
What?
Apparently, you can even romance a
Did
mind
you find
flayer.
the dead one or the one that was dying? And
Yeah.
did you tap into it?
I did. And
How far did you let it?
I went all the way,
Oh,
and
you went
I was
all the
able
way.
to resist though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was like dying. It couldn't control you completely, but like it was so weird. I was trying to like just talk to this mind flayer, and it was like controlling you. And the narrator's like, "You have this uncontrollable urge to give in,
To sacrifice
lean
your
in,
body for
lean
him.
in as if for a kiss."
Yeah.
And, like because it like starts manipulating you
Uh-huh.
and stuff. And then like I used my like willpower to escape it, and then I stomped on its head, killed
Yep.
it.
And then it was like, monster. And I'm like, I just stomped on his fucking head. I'm like, what? I don't know.
I'm playing as a chick,
Mm.
so I don't know if that changed. It's probably the same for a guy too.
He's a bad guy.
She does
What's
the
her
same thing.
dialect?
She steps on him. She's like monster.
Oh, she does say the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not like changing.
The dialogue, she like your character has a voiced lines,
Uh-huh.
but like all the like dialogue choices are not voiced.
It's just like
Yeah.
little stuff.
It's like traditional RPG.
yeah.
I at first when I was like, oh, I can't hear my guy voice, and then I thought about it. I'm like, I actually appreciate that because I already read the response. I don't
It's
want to hear
faster,
my
yeah.
guy say the same line that I just read.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
and it runs into like the Commander Shepard issue of like it says one thing and then they say a completely other thing. You know, it's like I don't want to hurt you. Fuck you and your family. Whoa.
My favorite one of those instances is actually in Witcher 3,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it says shove Dijkstra aside forcefully, and Geralt literally goes up, punches Dijkstra in the face, and then breaks his leg. And that's what happens.
But your description is just shove him aside
Yeah.
forcefully.
And like, I remember I saw that clip on YouTube. One of the top comments was like, I remember when Geralt shoved me aside. Now I can only eat food through a straw.
Oh God.
So I see we have some viewers. I do have a question for the viewers out there. What in D&D or Baldur's Gate, if you have played or if you haven't, what is the class and race you would choose to get some engagement going?
Well, as a wizard, I went elf. I think that's just
Elf.
like standard.
I
Um,
have a horrible habit of like just wanting to be me in the video game. So I was a human. I created a human paladin.
Well, elves are basically humans.
Yeah.
They got pointy ears,
Brown
and
hair.
I made a white.
Yeah, brown hair, a little
Approximately.
stubble,
There you go.
blue eyes,
How nice.
and
I
I'm
made
like, I name him Dylan.
I made a bald guy, like I always do.
Yeah, you always do. Maybe I'm just a chick on the inside.
Well, This is the platform to come
Yeah.
out.
We already have your confession.
Elden Ring, I play as a
Timmy.
guy. Elden Ring, I actually most of the time I try and create myself,
Yeah.
and then I end up not liking the way it looks, and I just beef him up and give him a beard, and like yes,
Because you created that
And
like
throw on a
samurai
helmet.
for Elden Ring, right? You gave him like a samurai
I
name.
did. His name was like Toichi or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
My name in that game is William.
My name's Dylan.
I know.
So
I'm like, I'm RPing in Elden
Yeah.
Ring, and then we play together, and I'm like, what?
I am Dylan, and this is William and Toichi.
I saw the samurai character. I was like, I gotta play into it a little bit.
Okay, we got. I like being a little creature like a gnome.
So gnomes have like half the movement speed. 'Cause
Oh,
they're so short little legs.
They have
and for that-
halflings too, though.
What's that?
They have halflings and dwarves. So there's
Yes.
like 3 different types of small
Oh, wow.
characters.
There's
um,
a lot of playable races.
this is a side tangent, but it just reminded me of a story. So the closest I've ever come. Okay, no, I have to retract that a little bit. So besides Divinity, when we played Divinity, the closest I've ever come to playing D&D was I have this like
Descent.
this book on my it's a choice of book on my phone, right? And it's called Choice
Choose-
of Wizards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Choose your own
I have that
adventure.
too.
And it's a lot of fun, but the whole gnome thing reminded me of one time I was playing with my friend and we were playing it together and he decided he was going to make a gnome. But his gnome, his body stat was like at 100, so we just pictured like this super ripped gnome,
Yoked.
yeah, yoked gnome. And then there's a scene where like you go in a sacred elven pool, and it like describes how you get out of the water, and it's like glistening, and we were cracking up, just this gnome with like fucking 6-pack,
I think-
Shredded.
just shredded.
Could you not be like a halfling barbarian? How funny would that be?
Well, that's like that's Kim
Halflings-
Lee.
He's a dwarf.
Yeah.
But like halflings are, I mean, hobbits basically.
Yeah,
Think
it's
of a
right.
hobbit. Yeah. So, there's a lot of freedom on like your characters. I think it'd be funny to be a halfling barbarian wielding like a great sword. Those things like I have like a character that's like human sized, and that sword is gigantic. I can't
Just
imagine
imagine a halfling.
Yeah. That'd be terrifying.
So they always like to play something small, but then they played Gloomhaven. That was a
The little rat in Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven's good. I like Gloomhaven.
What is Gloomhaven?
It's like a dungeon crawler board game, similar to Descent.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more intense, like rules wise. And it's like kind of a hexagonal, rather than like puzzle pieces to build the board. It's like a kind of a hexagonal shape, and so there's a little bit more strategy in the approach and stuff. So it's more like if it's more advanced than like Descent was, but it's
Oh,
it's a
okay.
dungeon crawler.
Is it with how's the board itself like set up? Is it blank tiles and then you just describe the scenario, or are you actually
No,
setting up
it's detailed and similarly to like Descent. Like you have like lots of minis, and you kind of the board changes depending on what level you're on and that kind of thing. But there's like more rules, a little bit more freedom. It's closer to D&D than Descent is, but it's not quite on the level of like D&D. But
Oh, okay.
I have a whole D&D mat too and everything. And I have minis. I
Well-
have like we can go all out.
Kyle, can we get a little taste? I know you said you've been working on a Witcher D&D.
I have
Campaign.
the Witcher tabletop RPG, which is basically just Witcher D&D. It's very
Uh-huh.
similar. And I built a campaign called Matters of Tradition. Takes place in Toussaint, and it's around a tournament, the famous tournament, the one that you're in the game that you
Uh-huh.
go to and it's happening. And the whole like plot of it, how it starts, is one of the main characters of the campaign is in an epic fight, the final fight, because the tournament ends with like kind of a 1v1. And then he accidentally kills the other person. But then there's like intrigue and there's more to it. And the one person was pretending to be someone he wasn't.
Ooh.
And the big thing is you find out, well, it's not really a spoiler, but one of the things you find out is there's not 100% guarantee that he's even the one that killed him. He might have been dead before that final blow even hit.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like as much as you can.
Poison dart from the audience.
It's kind of like as much as you can in the Witcher world, kind of like a spy noir, like
A murder mystery
thing. And then depending on your character, we'd figured out some lore reason for you to be there
Ooh.
during the tournament. Yeah.
We need to set that up.
It would be
I
fun.
always want to build like have you seen some of those tables that people use where they're like a TV is built into the TV and then you pull up like an image
Yeah.
on and then you like that's your battleground map?
That's cool.
Mine
Yeah.
is not nearly as advanced as that, but my mat is about the size of this table.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So the only thing, I mean, might want to invest in lots of minis and stuff. The only time in D&D, the only time movement comes into play is when you are in an instance, similar to like Baldur's Gate. So like you don't have to worry about like
Roll. I move 3.
roll.
to
I
go
move
loot
3.
this.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want until you engage in a fight, and then
Then you.
it's like you're locked in. And you
Right.
got to be careful on how you move and that kind of thing.
I pee on this rock. The rock gets angry.
But
A
it's,
dragon comes out of the rock.
there's same things. So there's different things that would happen depending on how you investigate. You'll have to roll to figure out stuff. Some things might require like a 15 and you can't get it. So you miss out on crucial information.
Because we're not there.
If you create a Witcher as a character, one of the downsides is nobody trusts you right off the rip. So it's very hard to be like an investigator because they all like mutant freak and they all don't like you.
Do witchers even trust themselves? Let's be honest.
If you were all Witchers in
That was so
in
edgy.
this, it would not work. Like there's lots of characters to like types to choose from. You have like sorceress, mage.
There's halflings, right?
In D&D
Or they're
or
dwarves.
in Witcher, you could do like dwarf.
Which don't they have hairy feet?
Yeah, well they have they do have
You're asking the important questions.
Dopplers.
Dopplers.
They could transform.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
remember some character with like hairy feet, and I was like, it's not a halfling.
Yeah, it's a Doppler.
What is it?
The Doppler radar.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cool thing, Witcher, it's not high fantasy, so it's a lot more. It's like
Swords.
grounded.
Swordboard.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like if this existed in the real world, how would it react? Versus like D&D is very high fantasy. Like it's all incredible and fantastic. That
So
kinda-
what you're saying is we should all be witchers.
it would. I mean, I would. If you guys did that, and I was the game master, I would figure out a way to break your party.
Break it in half.
Yeah. Like it's not the wisest thing to all be the same character. I would figure out a way to where like Witchers would have no chance.
You're missing this key thing, and you can't get it because you're a witcher.
You can't play Witcher tabletop without having at least one
Yeah.
Witcher in it, but sometimes having a merchant is way more valuable because
Billy
they could
would be a
charm and
sorcerer for
talk
sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's the male equivalent of the sorcerers?
They have mages.
Yeah.
and,
Mages. But what's the other faction? So there's the fact. Yeah, it is. And then what's the opposite? Are we connected?
the opposite.
I don't know why I think we disconnected.
Like
there
the
for a second.
college, or I don't know, College of Winterhold.
College of
Are we
Yes.
still alive?
Yeah.
I don't know if the no, like the oh fuck, I'll have to think about it.
Magic factions in Witcher.
Cuz there's the like the main big bad from the Civ Garden.
Oh, you mean like the Wild Hunt?
Yeah, like that.
I mean, I guess you could create a Wild Hunt character. That'd be kind of crazy.
No, I think he's talking about because there's the lodge, and then there's the other sorcerers
yeah,
and stuff.
and I'm trying to fucking remember.
You mean like so there's like druids of like Skellige and stuff?
The like, I know what you're talking about, Billy, but I don't know.
Wow. Mages, priests, druids, myriads of other creatures. I don't know. We'll have
But
to
so
put a
you,
pin
I mean,
in
you
that.
wouldn't have to be part of the lodge. You could just be a sorcerer.
One of these days, I'll bring the rule book, and you could see, like all the different ways you could spec and build a character. And it's really cool because like you can do it randomly, where each choice is designed by role.
Oh,
So like, which I'd like a little bit more control over my character. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't, if you want to do that, sure. But then there's also things like what I would make you roll on is like, you have like events of the past, and so like you roll and like, it'll be like, 2 years ago you saved someone on the road. It turns out they were noble and they owe you a favor. That kind of thing.
okay.
And I would make that random because that's always fun.
I think I would either be a witcher or a human named Dylan.
Human named Dylan.
So for those types of games, you'd rather play on a board than in a like Baldur's game.
Kind of, because I think that's a lot funner. Just in how it's played with the group. It's more, my brain is like, it's a board game. Yeah, we're gonna take turns, and it's much more social. Versus, yes, you can play Baldur's Gate online, but to me, that's still, we're sitting there. All right, Billy, it's your turn. All right, great, it's my turn.
A lot of D&D is it's a social.
Well, yeah, and like
event.
D&D, like I'm sitting next to you, I'm drinking my soda,
Yeah.
we're talking while somebody makes their turn. We're just like,
As cheesy as it sounds,
This
it's
guy doesn't
really
know what he's
fun.
doing.
Yeah.
It's really fun to get into character too.
Oh yeah.
You gotta like be full, like
steel horns.
What was my guy's name?
I forget.
It's the old man,
the
right?
book,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Something lore master.
Yeah.
Cranked knowledge and intelligence or whatever, but then like absolutely worthless in anything else.
We got really close to finishing that, then we just stopped.
And now our rating party is no mas.
No more. But
more.
we should try and start up The Witcher.
Yeah, it's a definitely. It would if we did do that, the first time we got together to do it, would literally it'd be all night just us specking and building characters. We wouldn't really even be able to start. We might be able to get
that's
going, but
any
like
time you start a campaign.
yeah, like that would. It's not like you would just jump in and go like the whole.
We're
When
ready.
we used to do it, it used to take like an hour just to set up the board,
Yeah,
to get it ready.
but I got dry erase markers. Super easy to just edit it and write on the right.
You're
on
right.
the-
That's a lore gap here.
I
There's a bush there.
have wet erase markers actually, so you can just wipe it off.
Just spit on it.
Yeah. I have a decent amount of minis, but not like Witcher specific minis. But you could probably get those on like Etsy or something.
Oh, dude, you could easily.
Yeah,
You could just buy probably like.
I would
cheap
even just
3D
use
printed
Etsy,
ones.
or I would even just use like minis from like other board games I have. This is a dragon.
I might buy a 3D printer just to create my own.
He's gonna invest that hard, and then we're gonna play
my
it.
wizard will be
3
8
weeks.
feet tall.
Yeah.
I'll bring.
on the board.
I have an old Buzz Lightyear toy. Can that be my?
If you wanted to.
We'll grab Geralt.
Yeah, we grab that.
Fucking
Ginormous.
moving this.
He's a titan.
Here we go.
Geralt to D3. He wields his second sword. Anyway. Well, where could they find us?
They can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, any major podcast listening platform that you listen to podcasts on, where we post regular episodes Tuesday night / Wednesday if you're waking up in a different time zone.
That's right.
But yeah, come check us out under KD Ratio Podcast.
And remember, the good Katie, you get the dub.
Bye.